Howdy folks, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk, Giordano Plastering. I'm going to show you guys today how we plaster up this ceiling, but I'm going to show you with this little itty bitty trowel because too many people say, hey Kirk, how are we going to learn to use that monster hawk you use in that big trowel? So I'll show you with the little trowel. It'll take too long, guys. Anyway, I'm going to use my big Congo handy dandy trowel. I'm going to show you, I'll explain something while we're doing this. See this mud here, guys? This is what we call sheetrock or drywall compound. What is sheetrock or drywall compound? That's gypsum mud with accelerators added. That's just so it sets fast. And what they had here was, of course, the kitchen. Hardest part here was covering everything. If you cover everything and pull that down, you got it made. This is the easy part, what I'm doing. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we mix 2 bags of 20-minute mud. Should you do that? No. But did we? We did, because I think I could plaster this and not have to mix anymore. So I'm going to show you guys how we did it. So we're putting it on. And yeah, it's kind of soupy, but that's okay because it's 20-minute mud. And 20-minute mud means in 20 minutes, if you mix it properly in a clean bucket and you got clean tools, it will set in 20 minutes. But what happens if you use 2 bags? Well, that'll set it in 10 minutes. Come on now. So Jay mixed it a little bit looser because he was telling me, well, Dad, you know it's going to set fast. I thought, well, if we have to mix more, we'll mix more. But in order to show you guys, I'm taking it out of a 5-gallon bucket. Now, if you guys are going to do this, you say, oh, I want to do like all those other plasters, you're going to need a plaster scoop. This is called a plaster scoop, stucco scoop. You get it on Amazon or you can get it at the material yard. Now, because Jay covered all of this and I was watching him, I know where to step. This is the counter right here. So what I'm doing is, first thing is, any of you guys are going to do this, you're going to want to hit the middle section first. What happens if I hit this right here, right above my head? Guess what? It's going to fall on me. So I'm trying to save that for last. But eventually I need to tie that joint in. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the mud out of this bucket. Yeah, this is really tight squeeze in here. But nothing we can't handle. And the reason I got that square trowel in my back pocket is because of these corners. Now this pull trowel will only get so much. And I had Jay mix this a little soupy because we knew it was going to set if we put 2 bags at a time in here. But one of those little bags, they're all it does is make half a bucket. And so a half a bucket, I'll go through it too quick. I don't want to go through it too quick. Okay, say like this now here. Here's the joint. Here's what you want to do, guys, on the joint. You want to pull it into the joint. You pull it into it because that mushrooms. What we, carding us in all over the glove. When it gets on the glove, then it gets on your hand, and then now your hand can't grip the trowel real tight. When we come to a break, I'm going to fix that. Okay, so again here, we want to pull into the joint. Because if I don't pull into that joint and key it, and keying means I want it to go through this 3.4 mesh, and I want it to go through these keys. That's what the wood lath is. Those are keys, guys, and that just, when I say key, not to open your front door, that just means it keys in there. It in those little holes, and it mushrooms above. And when it mushrooms above that, that's what holds it in permanently. But if it didn't have that, and we're going over sheetrock, the same applies. This pink stuff, that's just a glue. I'm kind of partial to that particular brand because they sell it at the material yard. It's plaster weld by Larson's. Do you guys have to get plaster weld by Larson's? No. You can get Quikrete. Quikrete is sold at Home Depot and Lowe's and every other hardware store. Where what I'm using, Larson's, is only sold at plastering yards. So if you were going to say, well, I'm going to do like Kirk and use that pink stuff, you'd have to go to a plastering yard, which means you'd have to Google plastering yards in my area. You don't want to do that, too much work. Just buy the bonding agent at Home Depot and get Quikrete. So right now, okay, I knew that was going to fall, so I'll put my whole hawk under that. And we know we're going to make a mess, guys, so if you know you're going to make a mess, you might as well leave everything covered up. Why are we making a mess? There's this little thing called gravity. So now this will set in about 10 minutes. Now, while that's set, and I think I'll get my corners, that just means I'm going to clean my trowel a little bit and put, I still have a quarter bucket here, guys, so I'm going to take at least enough to get my edges so that I can use my square trowel once. So, okay, now every job has got corners, so we take this guy here. And now I'm going to get my corner in there because the swimming pool trowel that I use, and that is called, it's not a swimming pull trowel where it's a perfect radius. Only the ends are arced. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. So here I'm getting all the corners. Come on now, because my other trowel won't fit in there. Where are you going? All right. So I'm taking this here, going up. And now I got that corner as good as I need it. So what I'll do now is put this square trowel away because I'm pretty much done with it. And it looks like we didn't have enough, but what I'm going to do is make it pretty now. I'm going to use up what we got in the bucket. So I'm going to take it off here, go over it. Now I'm using the whole trowel. And can this fall on my head? Absolutely. How many of you guys would love to see that happen? Jay's like, yeah, I hope it does. Anyway, there's what we got. I got 2 more hawkfuls in this bucket. And I'm going to pull them out right now, and just to get it on, because there is a possibility that I do have enough. And with all taping muds, you'd have to do 3 or 4 coats. With this gypsum compound, all that means is it's taping mud with accelerators in it. So the accelerators give it the time. Say like if you get 5-minute mud, this will harden in 5 minutes. If you get 10-minute, or you got 10, 20, 40, 60, 90, and for you guys who are not sure what you're doing, hour and a half. So now what I'm doing is, because I have all this excess mud, is I'm putting another coat on it. I'm putting another coat thinking, well, hopefully this one is set up enough. If it's not, it's just going to fall right off. and drop onto this tarp harmlessly. And that's okay. We're used to that kind of stuff. That's what I do. I can see areas where I know it's loose, but what happens is the first coat already sucked up into the wood. That wood, we have the pink stuff, which is the bonding agent, but that doesn't seal the wood completely, so it's still got some suction. And as I put that first coat on, that suction sucked the moisture right out of this coat. So let's see, I've got enough maybe to put another little bit on it, and it can be ugly as sin, guys, because once this starts to set, then I can pretty it up. So I'm going to see if I can put on just enough to to fill it out, and then if I fill it out flush enough, I can pretty it up while it's drying, if it doesn't fall out. Okay, so take it, and I can see up here where it's kind of hollow here and there. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm using this trowel as a rod or as a derby. I'm allowing it to make the wall chew and plumb. You see how that's starting to straighten out a little bit more, a little bit more. The idea is put a little less pressure now, not too much pressure. If I put too much, I'm going to shove it through the wood lath. That's it's setting, but it's not fully set, so I don't want to encourage dropouts. There we go. And that is the beauty of this big Congo trowel, guys. I think one more, and I have about half a hawk full in this bucket. And the beauty of this particular, this guy here, again, this is a scoop, a stucco scoop, is it cleans the bucket perfectly. It follows the contours of the bucket. Okay, for example, this is all I got left right here. And I can look at that and see I need a little bit here, I need a little bit there, and that's enough right here. So now I got to take a gentle hand, guys, very gently, and put a little bit more here. Well, if I push it too hard right here, it's going to drop the whole thing out, because technically I can see it's not set yet. So what I'm going to try to do is put one more little scoop, like about, not that, like about that, right here, and go flat and build it up. And right where that little hole is, come on, get in there. And now I have all the mud I need on here. It doesn't have to be pretty, not yet. Now what I'm going to do, guys, and what you guys should do if you're doing this kind of stuff, you wet your trowel, you get it real wet, and then it slicks it. So right now this is a dry trowel, that's why it's dragging everything. You see that? It's dragging it. So I'm just going to get rid of the rest of this mud now, because I do indeed have enough mud. So I'm going to just put it about right here. And get my edge. That edge. That edge. And then I just kind of wait. And I'll show you how we finish it. We're back. Guess what? I lost this ceiling. Meaning, I just spent 5 minutes and it felt like an hour of scraping as hard as I could to get some of the humps down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water. Just if Jay can mix some more mud, like just a little tiny bit of mud. I could skim this and be done quick, but I want to show you guys something. Okay, if it starts to get away like this, which is gone, it's not starting to get away, it's gone. But for the sake of going all the way out, I'll show you guys how to bring it back to life. And this is what we're using, guys. It's some fast set 20-minute compound. They got 20, 40, 60, and while I'm yammering and rambling, this is getting hard as a rock. Okay, see all those little bubbles? I got to get those bubbles out. This got no bubbles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back to life. I could bring it back to life one time, maybe two. Okay, how you going to bring it back to life, guys? You're going to take a little bit of water, and I'm going to use a lot of elbow grease now. I'm going to wet everything. Okay, this is kind of like if you're doing lime plastering, the same exact thing. If it's lime plaster, or they call it veneer lime plaster, veneer just means a thin coat, thin application. This is what you do to veneer. And I always use Imperial for the finish because Imperial has more fat, more lime. I can play with it longer. I could bring it back to life. What I'm about to try to do here is not kill myself, but at the same time, I want to bring this back to life just a little bit. And it's going to take a lot of elbow grease. You can see as I'm hitting it with water, like right now. And you can hit this with a wet wash rag too, a washcloth. And that'll, instead of sanding this down, you can hit it with a wet wash rag, guys, bath type towel, and that'll take it off. So because I want to give this some water so I could bring out just a little bit left of these slobbers where I don't kill myself too much. I know you're probably thinking too late. Okay, I put a lot of water. I'm not certain if this is going to work, but if it doesn't, I'll just have Jay mix me some more if I don't kill my arm. Okay, it's already set about 10 minutes ago, so I'm just trying to bring it back to life. Now, because I don't have the luxury of doing this, I got to use both hands and put it on edge. So I'm going to put it on edge, guys. Yeah, there's the fat I want. There's the fat. I gotta get that joint out. There's no shame in grunting, guys. You can grunt all you want, because now is hard. I want to get this joint out. And you keep going over it, guys, until you get that desired effect. I'm going to hit it just a little bit more. Then I'm going to have Jay mix me up a couple thimblefuls, because to try to prove a point here, guys, we got another job I'm going to, and I don't want to burn out trying to prove a point. But you get the idea. You take the mud that you pull off and you look for the holidays and you fill it up. I'm gonna leave it at that because I have to save some strength. We're going to be working another 6 hours, so I'm not going to burn it all out. Anyway, we'll show you the final because Jay's going to mix me up a little soup. I'll close my eyes, put the soup on, we'll be done. I'm going to show you one more. Well, I'm almost done now, but I'm going to show you something that's kind of useful. Like, again, this is taping mud with accelerators in it. That just means it's a a drywall or a sheetrock compound. If I was using, say, lime plaster like Diamond, Unical, Cal, or Imperial, you can't do this. You see this joint right here? A lot of people might get up here and start sanding it. What's sanding do? It makes a big mess. You got to inhale all that crap. Who wants to inhale all that crap? It's a wet rag. It's wet and it will bring it back to life. So I'm just showing you guys this so you'll know. All right, so let's take this joint right here. See, that's somebody might say, well, let's take this one right here. The light is showing it where it's got that little ridge. If you just go over it like this with water, this can't be a shirt, guys. You can't take your shirt off and try to do this. It's got to be one of these kind of wet cloth rags. The wet cloth rags works well. Now you see it took that out. It took it out. But I'm telling you too, a shirt will not work. It's got to be like a bath type towel. You see that? It just gets it off. And when this gets full, just turn it to another area. Say like right here. I'm turning it to a fresh area because this is full of mud now. And you just hit it. Can I hit the whole thing like this? Okay. Yeah, pretty much. See this little divot? If I just keep going like this, it'll take it out. It'll take it out. But that's kind of the slow way. What I want to do is, since Jay made me a little tiny bit of mud, as we were out there mixing, he said, Dad, you see this mud we're cleaning up, it's already hard, so you know inside is hard as a rock. It all hardens at the exact same time. So I knew it hardened, and I thought, big deal. I can show you guys what to look for and what to do about it when it does get hard, because yes, it gets hard with even us professionals. Okay, so now I got some soup right here. I'm going to take a little bit of this soupy mud. And now all I do, guys, is go over these holidays. Wherever there's a holiday, this is way easier than trying to use the shirt or the rag. A shirt will not work. A rag will. A bath cloth. So that's what we do, guys. And guess what? See where these little lines are? That's a little bit of mud that didn't get mixed with the drill. I'm going to mix it on the ceiling. Sometimes that happens, guys. Okay, last part I'm going to show you is right over here. Since we're going all out, I figure I might as well go into detail with this one, because we got to do it anyway. You know, I had a guy, he said, hey, Kirk, he wrote a comment. He said, Kirk, ain't you worried about using up all your strength and then getting, what do you call it, tendonitis? And I thought, you know, I don't think like that. I think use it or lose it. I think the opposite. So if I'm using my strength right now, that strength is building up, building up, building up. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I never have ever thought that if you use it, you're gonna wear it out. Okay, guys, you see how that is. Now I got some pretty fresh, easy mud to spread. And yeah, I'm still using a little bit of elbow grease, but I still got a little bit left in me. You just clean it all up, guys. Get all the, if you see little lines like that, just keep going over it and over it. And use water, it'll come out. And lastly, I'll show you, like say, the edges. What we do is, we use a handy dandy $2 brush, guys. What's a $2 or a throwaway brush? I'll show you. Okay. See if I have it in here. Where's my handy dandy $2 brush? All right, guys. These are like throwaways, $1, $2. Now we take this brush, and right here where it's kind of nasty looking, where it meets, the ceiling meets the wall, just go over it, just the tip. because it's dry. So all this is going to do is get rid of the clinkers. Take it, just like so. You get rid of the clinkers. And that pretties everything up, guys. And again, you don't need a $50 brush to do that. Just a little throwaway brush works fine. Anyway, you guys see where we're going with this, and you see right there where I have that little boo-boo. I'm gonna get that out with the trowel. Anyway, that's about all you guys need to know if you're using a lot of steam and you don't have, say, a vent, and it loosens up the ceiling and comes down on your head. Call us and we'll come and fix it for you. Anyway, my name is Kirk. Jason's on the camera. This is actually his job. I'm just helping him. We thank you guys for watching, and as usual, we'll see you on the next one.
All right, folks. As always, thank you for watching another Giordano stucco video. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe so we can keep making them. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.